Welcome back to the wild. Tonight, we begin a new project, building a hidden underground shelter from scratch. I've chosen a quiet spot with good soil. Breaking the surface is the first real test of endurance today. The first step is always the hardest. We need to dig a deep, wide foundation into the forest floor. Clearing away the loose dirt reveals a solid clay layer. It's tough work, but it means strong, stable walls. Digging deep gives us perfect camouflage. It also uses the Earth's natural insulation to keep the shelter warm. Throwing the heavy dirt up to the surface takes a lot of energy. I'll need to save this for the roof later. The soil is getting harder and rocks are showing up. But we finally reached the perfect depth to sit comfortably. I smooth out the floor and the dirt walls. A flat surface makes everything else much easier to build. It's freezing out here. A quick, hot meal of instant noodles by a small fire is the best reward. Mixing in some spicy seasoning warms me right up. It's exactly the fuel I need before lifting heavy logs. Back to work. I'm measuring and cutting thick tree branches to lay the groundwork for our underground roof. Now I'm placing sturdy wooden logs across the pit. This will form a strong, weight-bearing roof for our bunker. I have to position them closely together. Any large gaps would let the soil and rain fall through into the shelter. Every log has to be cut to the exact length. I use a straight branch as my measuring tape. I carefully arrange the final branches. The structure is taking shape, and it already feels much safer down below. Tying the smaller branches together forms a solid mat. This prevents loose soil from caving into the shelter. I'm covering the wooden roof with a thick layer of dry grass, then packing the excavated dirt back on top. The dry grass acts as a barrier, keeping the dirt from falling through the logs while providing extra insulation. Shoveling the wet earth back over the structure seals everything in. It makes the shelter completely waterproof and windproof. Using a hand auger and a saw, I quickly carve out a wooden rake to help camouflage the fresh dirt. I'm drilling precise holes into a thick branch to fit the wooden teeth. A simple tool made entirely from the forest. I carve the wooden teeth using just my knife. Hardwood is best here so the rake doesn't break easily. Tapping the wooden pegs into place secures them tightly. It's amazing what you can build with just basic hand tools. Trimming the ends of the pegs ensures a smooth raking motion. This simple bushcraft tool is incredibly effective. Now I use the rake to pull a thick layer of fallen leaves over the raw dirt we just packed down. By raking dry leaves over the roof, the entire underground shelter simply vanishes into the surrounding forest floor. From a few steps away, it just looks like a natural bump in the ground. Now for the entrance. I found this massive, hollowed-out tree stump. It's going to be the perfect hidden entrance for my underground home. Positioning this heavy stump over the entrance hole took some serious effort, but it blends in flawlessly with the environment. Chopping through this thick bark is tough, but creating a natural-looking entrance is vital for a hidden base. Using a handsaw, I'm carefully cutting a small doorway into the side of the stump so I can actually get inside. I'm clearing out the rotten wood from the inside of the stump to create a smooth, clean passageway down. With the stump in place, I'm building a simple rope and wood ladder to make climbing down much easier. Tying secure knots around each wooden rung ensures the ladder won't slip when I put my full weight on it. Testing the rope ladder. It holds my weight beautifully, letting me lower myself into the dark, quiet earth. Down in the shelter, I'm starting a small fire. This niche will be our main source of heat and cooking. With the fire going, I need to mix some water and soil to create a thick, sticky mud for sealing. The soil here is rich in clay. Adding a little water turns it into the perfect natural cement. To block out the cold wind and rain, I'm packing thick mud into every gap between the stump and the ground. Securing these thick branches together with twine creates a solid hatch. It needs to withstand the elements outside. I also crafted a wooden hatch. This trapdoor will seal off the entrance completely once I'm inside for the night. I fit the wooden hatch tightly against the entrance. No unwanted animals or cold drafts are getting in tonight. I'm adding a layer of wet mud to the top of the hatch. This makes it heavier, draft-proof, and fire-resistant. I climb back up to start working on the ventilation. A safe fire needs a clear path for smoke. For the fire to breathe safely, I'm drilling a ventilation hole up to the surface and inserting an aluminum pipe. For the fire to breathe safely, I'm drilling a ventilation hole up to the surface and inserting an aluminum pipe. Sliding this flexible duct through the dirt ceiling ensures all the dangerous smoke gets pulled out of our living space. Back on the surface, I need to hide the shiny pipe. I'm carving out a small log to slide right over it. I hide the exhaust pipe inside another hollow log above ground, adding a wooden cap to keep the rain out. I carve out a thick slice of a log to sit right on top. It blends right into the forest scenery. I'm using small mud balls to prop up the wooden cap, allowing smoke to escape while keeping the interior completely dry. To make this dirt box livable, I'm stapling reflective foil to the walls. It blocks moisture and traps the heat. Lining the ceiling and walls with foil acts like a mirror, reflecting the warmth from the fire right back at me. Cutting the foil to fit perfectly around the chimney and the sleeping area takes some patience, but it's worth it. Cutting the foil to fit perfectly around the chimney and the sleeping area takes some patience, but it's worth it. Adding a layer of patterned fabric gives the shelter a cozy, cabin-like feel. It's starting to look like a real home. I lay down thick branches to elevate my bed. Sleeping directly on the cold ground drains your body heat. I'm placing strong, straight branches across a log base to build the foundation for a comfortable, raised bed. Using some sturdy branches and more insulation, I'm putting together a simple but comfortable raised bed frame to sleep on. I'm carving small slots into the dirt wall and hammering in wooden pegs. These will support shelves for my belongings. Hammering these wooden pegs firmly into the clay walls, they will easily hold the weight of my candles and gear. Slicing a candle into smaller pieces allows me to place multiple light sources around the room, brightening the dark earth. Slicing a candle into smaller pieces allows me to place multiple light sources around the room, brightening the dark earth. Time for decorations. A few wooden shelves, some glowing candles, an old clock, and a painting bring this place to life. It's incredible how a few simple touches can transform a damp, cold hole in the ground into a warm sanctuary. I set up my antique clock and arrange my spices. It's the small comforts that make wilderness survival enjoyable. It's time for a hearty dinner. I'm sizzling some thick-cut bacon in my cast iron skillet right over the hot coals. Adding a little olive oil to the pan helps the thick bacon render its fat perfectly over the open flame. The sound of sizzling bacon and the smell filling this tiny underground room makes all today's hard work entirely worth it. I keep turning the bacon to get an even crispy sear. The cast iron skillet retains heat beautifully down here. I'm slicing open a fresh ciabatta roll. The rich bacon grease left in the pan is going to add so much flavor. I'm layering the crispy bacon with thick slices of brie. The heat from the meat starts melting the cheese immediately. I'm making a toasted sandwich with bacon, creamy brie cheese, and cherry tomatoes, wrapped in foil and baked in embers. I add the fresh cherry tomatoes on top of the creamy brie. The contrast of flavors is going to be amazing. I carefully bury the foil-wrapped sandwich into the glowing red coals to toast the bread and melt everything together. The glowing embers are like a natural oven. It only takes a few minutes to perfectly toast the ciabatta bread. While the sandwich toasts, I'm unrolling a beautiful rack of pre-marinated pork ribs to prepare for the main course. I unfold the heavy aluminum foil. This will lock in all the moisture and spices while the pork ribs roast. Tonight's main course is a seasoned rack of ribs. I'm wrapping them tightly in foil to slow cook by the fire. I make sure the edges of the foil are tightly crimped. We don't want any of those delicious juices escaping. The foil traps the steam and juices inside, ensuring the meat becomes incredibly tender as it slowly roasts in the cave. Outside, a family of wild boars is roaming around in the dark. They have no idea I'm right beneath them. Gex, taking the sandwich out of the coals. The bread is perfectly charred, and the cheese has melted into the bacon beautifully. While the ribs are cooking, I dive into the hot, melty bacon and cheese sandwich. It tastes absolutely incredible. Finally, I unwrap the ribs and finish them directly on the grill for a perfectly charred, smoky outer crust. The meat is falling right off the bone. The combination of the smoke, the spices, and the heat is just perfect. Slicing into these juicy ribs with a sip of wine is the perfect way to end a long day of hard work. The combination of melted cheese, crispy bacon, and tender, smoky ribs is the ultimate feast for a bushcraft builder. The forest is quiet now, the fire is warm, and I'm ready to sleep. Good night, and see you next time.